Hey everyone, Nicholas from Growth Marketer, and in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get started with Unbounce. So let's get right into it. Welcome back. So if you're checking out this video, chances are you've heard of Unbounce, but you want to learn more about it. So I'm not going to be able to teach you everything you need to know in detail, but what I want to do in this video is in the next 15 or 20 minutes, I want to keep this as short as possible. I want to show you the basic features and functionality, take you through the builder, point out some different things, and sort of get you familiar with how it works so that you can start building your own landing pages, pop-ups, sticky bars, and just jump right in. Now, I also want to begin with just a quick overview of what Unbounce is, and I'll also show you some of the pricing options so that you can choose the right plan if you haven't already become an Unbounce customer. So let's jump right in. So this is Unbounce.com. This is a landing page builder that is used, the landing page builder itself is used by about 15,000 customers as far as I know, and they recently acquired an AI copywriting platform that is now built into it. So the combined user base right now is about 70,000 customers. And so Unbounce, like I said, it started as a landing page tool, but now it does a lot more than that. You can build pop-ups, you can build sticky bars. They have a lot of different templates to pick from. And with the AI copywriting functionality, now you can use Unbounce more for things like creating ads that convert rather than just building landing pages. So it's one of those classic examples of they started with one singular focus and now it's become what they refer to as a conversion intelligence platform. And I think they're doing a really nice job with it. Now, if you're on the Unbounce homepage, one thing you're going to notice is that they have this thing here called Smart Builder. And by the time you're watching this, it may be out of beta, but right now it's in beta. And then they also have Smart Traffic. And so let's go through those real quick. So the most traditional way that people use Unbounce is with the Classic Builder. This was prior to the launch of the Smart Builder. This was the only builder for building landing pages inside of Unbounce. And this is what we're mostly going to focus on for this video because it's still the most flexible way to build a landing page from scratch where you're in complete control of every element on the page. And so we're going to get into that in more detail. What Smart Builder is it makes it even easier, but you're giving up a little bit of that flexibility in terms of what you can do with the page. So the way I like to think about the difference is if you want to have a pixel perfect design that's built just the way you want it and you sort of know what you are looking for and you have a vision that you want to build this page in Unbounce just like this, then you're probably going to want to go with the Classic Builder. However, if you're just getting started and you don't mind if the page is not exactly the way that you envisioned it, but you want to get something up and running quickly and you don't want to have to deal with all the mobile optimization and all the little nuances that come from building a landing page the traditional way, then you may want to check out the Smart Builder. But like I said, at the time of this recording, it is in beta, so there's not that many features. And if you're looking for a whole bunch of integrations and a whole bunch of customization options, then you are not going to find that in the Smart Builder just yet, but that is coming. Now, when it comes to Smart Traffic, what this is referring to is a way to test your landing pages. So this uses AI or artificial intelligence to help route the traffic or the visitors from your media source, whether that be a Facebook ad, a Google ad, an email click, whatever it may be. They're going to route the visitor to the variant of the page that is most likely to get them to convert. And as you can see here, it typically will give you an average conversion lift of over 30%, which is pretty cool. We've used it at our agency, Earnworthy, and it does work really well. So I encourage you to check it out. The thing you're going to need for it, though, is you're going to need at least a couple, or what I like to say, at least 4 variants so that the Smart Traffic system knows which variant to send people to and has enough data to work with. Another really cool feature of Unbounce are the pop-ups and sticky bars. You can see them here. And what's cool about this is you can use the pop-ups and the sticky bars on any website. It doesn't just have to be used on an Unbounce page. A lot of people don't know that. And so if you have a WordPress website, you could pay for Unbounce. So you could use the pop-ups and sticky bars on your WordPress site as well as on your Unbounce pages, and you're still going to be able to build your high converting landing pages with Unbounce. So I think that's pretty cool as well. Okay, before we jump into the builder, let's cover pricing real quick. You can see here, you can pay either monthly or annually. If you pay annually, you save 10%, but let's start by looking at the monthly pricing. There's 4 plans here from launch all the way up to scale, and it starts at $80 and it goes up to $300 US dollars. Now, if you want to do some A/B testing, you're going to want the optimized plan because the A/B testing functionality does not come with the launch plan. And you can see that here if you click on compare plan features, you're going to see down here, you get the Smart Builder with all of the pages, but the thing you don't get is A/B testing. And you can see that right here, if that gets out of the way, A/B testing. So in my opinion, the launch plan is really not where you want to start if you want to do any type of actual A/B testing, which is a huge part of landing page optimization. So you'll want to be on that optimized plan. Other than that, what it really comes down to is how busy you believe these pages are going to be, because the pricing is based on the number of conversion actions. And so you can see here, every time a visitor completes your conversion goal on a landing page or in a pop-up or sticky bar, it's a conversion. Common conversion goals include clicking a call to action or completing a lead gen form. So you have to think, how many form fills are you going to get? How many button clicks are you going to get? And those are the button clicks that are the meaningful ones that you're tracking as a conversion, because you are limited on this pricing structure. So with the launch plan, you only get 500 a month. Then on Optimize, you get 1,000 a month. But that's pretty high if you're just starting out. The other big limitation are the number of domains that are connected. So if you're an agency and you're using Unbounce for a lot of your client projects, this could be an issue because you want to have enough domains so that you can set up your clients on their own domains, or you want to encourage your clients to get their own Unbounce accounts, which is what I actually recommend. But in this case, you could see with Launch, you only get 1 domain. With Optimize, you get 3. With Accelerate, you get 7. And with Scale, you get 15. And then there is a plan beyond Scale, and that's where the concierge services come in with Unbounce, where they can put together a plan just for you. So that, in a nutshell, is Unbounce's pricing structure. It's a little bit different from some of the other providers that will charge you based purely on the number of pages you want to create, because in this case, what you're really paying for is the number of conversion actions that occur on your pages, and you really have to just decide how many domains you need, and also the total number of unique visitors, but these levels are pretty high already. So with that being said, let's jump into the Unbounce Builder and I'll show you around. Okay, so here we are. You can see this account, I already have some pages that I've been working on. This is just a test account that I use for demo purposes and for videos like this, but let me walk you through it. So when you first load up the Unbounce Builder, you're going to see the pages that you're working on here in the middle. If it's a new account, you probably won't see anything there. And then on the side over here, you'll see pop-ups and sticky bars. Obviously, that's where you create your pop-ups and sticky bars. AMP, which stands for Accelerated Mobile Pages. In my personal opinion, I wouldn't really mess with AMP because it used to be popular a couple of years ago, but it's not as popular these days. And really the downsides of AMP, in my opinion, far outweigh the benefits that you're going to get from an incremental speed improvement. I can go into more detail. If you have questions about that, just put them in the comments of this video. Integrations, you're really not going to go into integrations that much because most of the integrations that you set up will be set up at the page level, or they'll be set up externally using something like Zapier. But just if you want to check on integrations, this is where you would check on them. And then domains, this is where you'll set up those domains that you want to connect to your Unbounce account. And then, of course, you can add users to the account and then some settings for the entire account, but there's really not much there either. So most often you're going to be in this all pages category because this is where you're going to be doing most of your landing page building work. So if you want to create a new page, you simply click on Create New. And this is the page you'll see next. Now, for this video, we're going to be focusing on the classic builder. Like I said, that's the original builder that prior to the launch of the Smart Builder was the only way to build a landing page in Unbounce. And this is the one that gives you complete control and complete flexibility throughout the building process. So we're going to start with this Builder Basics training template. And so I'm going to select that one, and I'm just going to give it a name like a demo. And I'm going to start with that template. What's cool about this template is it sort of helps you learn the process of working with Unbounce because you can read it, you can learn from it. So I encourage you to spend some time and really play around with it and check out the different features. But let me point out a few things. So the builder can look intimidating at first glance. I remember when I first saw it, I was a little bit overwhelmed, but it's pretty simple when you figure out what each area is for. So the top bar here, this tool panel here at the top, is for all of the like saving and reverting back to changes and publishing and unpublishing a page, previewing a page, getting support, those types of things. And then if you select an element in the actual builder canvas, which is this middle part here, you'll see some of these things here will light up. And this is where you can do things like send the element forward or backwards. You can copy an element. You can duplicate an element. So let's say I want to copy this entire text element here. I can copy it, and then I can click out of it, I can paste it, and now it's basically a duplicate, or I can delete it. So you have some, just like working with Google Sheets or Microsoft Office. That's what this top toolbar is for. Now here on the left, this is your widgets pane. This is where you're going to have all the different types of widgets or elements that you can drag onto the canvas. So each one of these items, everything that I'm clicking on, these are all elements. And so there's not that many different types of elements, but from this collection here, you can really do pretty much anything you want. And so at the most basic level, you want to start with a section. That is what you build on top of. So this blue area is a section, then this white area is a section, and then this is a section with an image background, and then you have a white section. And so that's the underlying element behind everything else. And so if you want to add a new section, I would click and drag and put it wherever I want that section to be. And then I can make it taller and shorter. And then you have boxes. These are very useful for grouping things together, or let's say you want to create a testimonial section. I can create some boxes right there, and I can fill them with color, and you can change the border color, and all of those settings here on the right, these are going to change depending on what element you've selected. So since I've selected a box element here, you'll see now I have all the properties for the box. I can make the border larger. I can change the color on the inside of the box like that. And then if I click on it, I can also copy it. I can paste it. Now I have two boxes. And so this is where you start working with both the top bar and the sidebar. And so this panel over here on the right, the properties pane, is always going to be dependent on what you're clicking on. Now you'll also notice page properties over here. These are your page level settings, things like the page title, keywords, which I don't really think a lot of people use anymore for these types of Unbounce pages. Description, that's pretty important. That's your meta description. And you can decide if you want to hide the page from search engines. And then over here you have goals. And so this is where, remember we were talking about Unbounce charges you on the paid plans based on the number of conversion actions you're getting per month. And so these are your conversion goals. So for instance, because there's a form on this page, one of the goals is already preset as a form submission. Every time that form gets completed, that would count as a conversion goal. So if we go back to this widgets panel over here on the left, you'll also see there's a text element, and then there's images, buttons, lightbox buttons, form. And you notice how form is grayed out. That's because you can only have one form per Unbounce page, and this page already has a form on it. And then you have embed video and custom HTML. So you can really do a lot with these types of elements. So these are all text elements. You can make them different sizes. You can change the type of text element it is, the heading, that type of thing. You could also change the spacing, the size, the text color, the highlight color, all different types of styles, alignment, so on and so forth. And then something else that's pretty useful are these lightbox buttons. So let's say I want to drag a lightbox button, and let's just give this area a little bit more space. And I know this page looks completely hideous, but we're just doing this as a way of quickly testing out the builder. So what a lightbox button does is it opens up, when someone clicks on it, it opens up this lightbox here, which you can customize. You can change the size of it, and think of this as a little tiny landing page that lives on your Unbounce page, and it will open up as someone clicks on it. So for instance, you can create a lightbox with a headline. Let's say I want to make this a heading 1, and I want to center this text. And so I want to say, fill out this form below for the free guide, right? And then let's say we want to go back to the page, and maybe we want to move that form that we have down here to that lightbox. So what I'm going to do is just click on the form once. I am going to copy it. I'm going to go back to the lightbox, and I'm going to paste it. And it's going to tell me I already have a form on the page. So do I want to replace it? And in this case, yes, because I want to move that form to that lightbox. And so now I have the form in the lightbox. Let's just clean this up a little bit. And then with forms, forms are very powerful. You can double click into them, and this is where you can add form fields, and you see there's some preset form field options here. So let's say I want to, instead of just have name, I want to have first name. Okay, let's do first name. And then I also want to have a last name, which is already preset here. I can move this up, and now I have an extra form field. So I have first name, last name, telephone, and you could change the button and all of that. You can also redirect people. If you want someone to go to a thank you page after they fill out the form, you would do that in the form confirmation, which you'll see here on the properties pane once I click on that form. But for now, let's go back to the page real quick. Let me show you how images work. Let's say I want to add a new section here, and I want this section to have an image as the background. So I'll click into the section, I'll go down to background, go to image. I can either upload an image, or what I can do is use Unsplash. There's a direct integration here. Let's say I want this image to be the background image. So with Unsplash, I do recommend sort of playing around with it because sometimes the images are rather large. And so if you're looking to get optimal speed times, you may want to first optimize the image outside of Unbounce and then upload it, although Unbounce does have some image optimization features as well. Another cool thing you can do with a background image is you can do a parallax effect, which is something like that, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, most of these other items are pretty self-explanatory. If you want to embed a video, you would just drag the video over here. Now, the video, you have to have it hosted somewhere else. So usually you want to have it hosted on Vimeo or Wistia or YouTube, and then you'd paste that embed code there. And then custom HTML, this is a more advanced feature. This is where maybe you want to have like a sliding carousel, or you want to have an accordion section. So if you're good with HTML and JavaScript and CSS, that's where you can use that element. And then of course, you have full control over the scripts on the page, so you can add custom JavaScript by clicking this little area down here at the bottom. And then for anything CSS related, you would click that little area down there and you can add your style sheets. Last but not least, let's say we want to preview the page. So we'll click save and then we can click preview. And here we go. Now we can see the messy page we just made. And that way you can then check what it looks like. You can also see what it looks like on mobile. Now, remember I said with the classic builder, you have a lot of control, but you also have some issues that pop up if you don't mobile optimize the page, like this right here. So what we need to do is we need to go back to the builder by clicking edit and click into this mobile tab here. And what this is going to do, once we get rid of this little notification here, this is going to bring up the mobile specific view. And so after you're done working on one of the views, you always want to check the opposite view. I typically will work first on the desktop view and then I'll move over to mobile, and you want to just clean it up for mobile. So for instance, some things will be out of bounds. So you want to bring it back into bounds. That's where these little guides will help you. If something's red, that means it's totally outside of the canvas and you need to bring it onto the canvas. And so you just want to sort of go through the page, clean things up. And there's also a little helper here. If you click into a section and you go to Layout Assistant, which will pop up here on the side, you can click Section, and it'll try to do its best to clean things up, but you're still going to have to work with it. And this is one of the things that the Smart Builder is making obsolete, because the Smart Builder sort of does this optimization, this mobile optimization for you. But like I said, you don't have as much control over the specific features and design styles of the pages. So then when you're ready to publish, you simply save the page. And if this is a brand new page that you have not published before, then you have to go back to the overview. And from this page, this is where you'll be able to publish the page now. You can also change the page name. You could change the URL. And this, think of this as the back end of the page, right? So we were just in the builder. This is sort of the behind the scenes part of the page that's going to give you information on the leads that come in. So if you have a form on the page, you'll see all of the leads that come in. You can see what integrations you have, maybe with Zapier, or if you're getting email notifications, you could set those up here. But back on the overview page, the other really powerful feature of this part of the Unbounce tool is this is where you're going to be setting up and running your A/B tests. So right now we only have one variant. So think of pages as having the ability to have multiple variants, where maybe you want to test different headlines, different images, different offers. Each of those would be different variants. And so you can duplicate a page and you can create a new variant from it. And then you can do an A/B test, either a traditional A/B test where you're splitting the traffic, usually 50-50, or like I was saying earlier, you can use smart traffic to let machine learning algorithms and AI decide which visitor needs to go to which variant automatically. And I recommend you test both of those options. So this is where you would set all of that up, but that would obviously be something we'd cover in a future video. For now, I just wanted to make you aware that this is really where you see the leads, where you set up the domain, and where you set up your integrations, and also where you set up and monitor your A/B tests. So there you have it. In a nutshell, that is a quick overview of Unbounce. Now, if you want to learn more about Unbounce, I do have a full course on Unbounce that I'll put a link in the description below. I encourage you to check that out if you want to go in depth and really go hands-on, and we build a page together from scratch, and you're going to learn so much more. This was a very quick video. So think of this times 100. That's what I cover in my full course. So check that out in the description below. If you have any questions, you can also post a comment below and I'll try my best to answer it. And I hope you found value. If so, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and hit subscribe so you get more of my marketing videos. And I'll chat with you soon. So take care.